Describe this one.
A dogfight. Like I said in our production meeting, Cleveland's a great team. We beat them early in the season, but they had to switch, and they came out here to play. It was a tough fighting game between two tough teams in the LC, and we just came out with a victory.
When you play a team like that, Lamar's an unbelievable player, and he's just going to make a lot of plays. And so you go into that game knowing that you're going to have to score points, but we win as a team and we lose as a team. So we just have to be better, and that's that.
Now, when I say we've never seen a game like that, I mean it literally. It is, first of all, the first game all time with a 47-42 final score. The 89 combined points, third most in Monday Night Football history, and it's the first time we've seen 20 points in the final 2 minutes since 2013. There were a lot of good calls made last night, and the good calls are brought to you by Subway. And let's bring the guys into the conversation. I hardly know where to begin. Jeff, Saturday, Lamar Jackson comes out of the locker room and saves the season. What's your number one takeaway?
Game of the year, hold my beer. Man, this was absolutely incredible. And Lamar Jackson saved the Ravens season. And you can't say it any other way. And if you think about that fourth down play, comes jogging out of the locker room, gets on the field, and makes this throw to Hollywood Brown, the only reason this play was available was because of what he had done with his legs the entire game. The defensive backs had to be aware once he broke contain to come down and help tackle, whether it was a scramble or a design run. This is the formula for the Baltimore Ravens. Don't make any mistake about pocket passing, all that nonsense. The reason they beat the Browns on the fourth down play was because of Lamar Jackson and his athleticism. Remarkable play, biggest moment of the season. Lamar Jackson stands up. Just an incredible play to watch. As a fan, couldn't get any better than this.
Yeah, it was a spectacular night. And, Greg, I'm going to come to you for your tape in a minute. But, Swagoo, I did want to just pick up on that thought. And Lamar Jackson had an MVP season last year in a year where everything felt like it came somewhat easy. This year it hasn't been nearly as easy. What do you think last night means for him?
I think it means everything, G, especially when you look at what Lamar went through, even previously to this game, but also during the game. And you think about his mentality, man. I mean, we talked about it yesterday on NFL Live. I thought he was going to have to be Superman, and that's exactly what he was. He's the best player outside of Patrick Mahomes when he's on the field. He's the most terrifying player with the ball in his hands, and you saw it last night. He creates for everyone. And when you have a transcendent player like that, it reminds us of how Baltimore can win. And I'm with Jeff and Greg, and they've been talking about the running game and let Lamar be who he is. Last night was no better definition of that. But I also think a part of that was the ability to throw the rock. That last drive was Lamar working from the pocket to Mark Andrews. Now, obviously, you want to get more people, but that was Superman last night. And that's exactly what the Baltimore Ravens needed in order to win that game.
Show us, Greg. You've got some tape together. Show us what we saw in Lamar last night.
Yeah, the Ravens reminded themselves what we've known all along. Lamar as a passer is very solid, but as a runner, he's quite literally unstoppable. So let's look through it. I mean, here he is in some zone read situations. All right, good luck. All right, end middle line of scrimmage. You read him. He crashes. That's a pull read all day long. Even me as a pocket guy knows that. Pull it. I'm getting you 2. He's getting you 30. All right, because he's going to get 3 blockers out on the perimeter. He only has to make one guy miss, and that's it. He's out the gate. Same situation right here. This is on Myles Garrett. You can't block him, so, hey, let's read him. You get J.K. Dobbins crossing this little sweep read. All right, no problem. He stays wide. Look at how much room Lamar Jackson has. Forget about it. He's out the gate with nothing but green grass out in front. How about this? Man coverage. Play man against a mobile quarterback at your own risk. Right here, you see the safety run with Mark Andrews across the field. Oh, my goodness. Look at the green grass. See ya. He's gone. Make one guy miss. He's barely touched, and he's into the end zone. And when are we going to learn you cannot run cover 0 against a mobile quarterback? More on that a little later. He gets outside the pocket because the contain is absolutely horrendous, and then the defenders are in no man's land. They can't do anything about it. They can either come up and stop the run and uncover Hollywood Brown, or they can stay deep and Lamar Jackson's going to carve you up with his legs. He did a great job of keeping the offense moving and giving the Cleveland Browns so much to think about because of how good he is with his legs.
A spectacular night, and he does it while overcoming the reported gastrointestinal distress. So finally, something in my area of expertise. So we'll talk more about him a little bit later. Now let's get to the other side of this, because Marcus, in the very first conversation you and I had this morning, the first thing you said was that you took as much about the Browns out of last night as you did about the Ravens. What was it?
Yeah, offensively, G, let me make that caveat. When you look at what Baker Mayfield and this offense was able to do, look, for as good as his performance was, the ability to answer, right? Going down 28-14 and being able to work themselves back in that game. Baker didn't get overzealous. He didn't press. He took what the defense gave him. And Stefanski always wants Baker Mayfield to play like he played last night because it lends itself to him being their franchise quarterback and playing really well. He answered questions for me last night. When you talk about pressure, when you talk about the ability to make plays, when everything is on the line, the fourth down, scramble, touchdown, like all of these plays, it's a culmination of a lot of things that Baker Mayfield was able to do last night that for the first time since I've been watching him in big moments, he looked poised and he looked as good as any quarterback in the league. So that answered questions. From an offensive standpoint, it's going to be very hard to stop this football team if Baker Mayfield take care of the football. And I know the interception was catastrophic, and you can point to that. But that is him pressing. But he got immediately away from that and answered again and brought this team back to actually give them a lead. Only thing is, Superman was on the other damn side of the field.
Yeah, he left 64 seconds on the clock. Greg, I know you'll have some tape on Baker for us a little bit later, but it feels like every game he plays is a referendum on literally his entire career. Last night was a positive, right? I mean, last night feels to me like it was a big win for Baker Mayfield.
Greeny, I think it's the best I've ever seen him look. The first half, obviously a couple weeks ago, was pretty remarkable. 4 first-half touchdown passes. But last night with the game on the line, after experiencing the adversity of throwing a pick that put your own defense on their own 1-yard line, he bounced back 3 touchdowns after the interception, 1 with his legs, 2 through the air, and he was 11-14 for 150 yards. He was accurate. He was decisive. He didn't force the issue, and he took what the defense gave him. In a 2-minute drill, so many young quarterbacks, man, I want to push the ball down the field. No, you saw soft coverage. Hey, man, I'm going to let my matchups work for me. And it was really, I thought it was a mature effort from Baker Mayfield, something that he can build on. And I think he probably grew by leaps and bounds as far as confidence is concerned and can build on that in the weeks to come down the home stretch and hopefully for the Browns in the playoffs.
So, Jeff, for a team that has been just dominated by Baltimore over the years, and including of Game 1 this season, any semblance that last night feels like a moral victory to you?
I'm not about the moral victories, Greeny. Like I like what these guys are saying, but they still got beat. You know what I mean? So as well as he played, he still throws a pick that leads to 7 points, and he can't get up the. Who do they beat in their division? The Bengals. They don't beat the Steelers. They don't beat the Ravens. Like, we got problems. Listen, as important as the game was for Lamar Jackson last night to win, it's equally as important that Baker Mayfield beats the Steelers at the end of the season. He has to put a signature victory on. As well as they played, they still lost. And last time I checked, that's how we evaluate wins and losses.
Okay, we will talk much more about this. Obviously, we will have tons on this game as the day goes. And we have a poll question up for you as well today. And it's very simple.